Welcome to the StockMiner.com studios here in the Black Hills of South Dakota. I'm your Stockminer, Brian Johnson. Business first, Vernon. Vernon, if you are out there, you are trying to get a hold of me via email. You signed up for my newsletter subscription. And apparently my emails are not getting to you. You have a Gmail account, and they are probably getting stuck in your spam folder. So if you look in your Gmail on the left side, you have compose mail and then inbox, buzz, starred, important, sent mail, drafts, and spam. In that spam, if you click on that, you'll probably find all of my emails I've been trying to send to you. I've tried from 2 or 3 different email addresses trying to get to you. Hopefully you'll get it. If you are not still getting my emails, send me another email because I'm getting yours. Send me another email and include like your phone number or a different email address in it, and I'll try to get a hold of you at that other location, and we'll try to get this worked out. So you signed up, want to make sure you're getting taken care of, and see if we can't help you with that. Okay, on to the markets. Everything down the last couple of days, not uncommon to see. We're just pulling back here. That's the way I have to view it for the time being. I don't see it as anything else really beyond that. And you can see a nice, perfect little uniform pullback to support, bounce up to resistance, and then drop through. Here this looks like a little bit of a head and the shoulders on the Dow. That target is actually down around 12,350-ish or so. 12,350, 12,375, I think would make a very logical place if this is legit for this for the Dow to maybe want to pause or break or rest a little bit. Makes perfect sense to me. That would make a nice little pullback within the markets. That could take tomorrow or tomorrow into Wednesday even. We could see 1, maybe even 2 days more of this pullback if it's going to continue, and see where we get. Above about the 12.6 mark is probably my, well, maybe we're in for a little bit more of a push to the upside time. So if we can clear what is right now the 20 period moving average here, but above 12.6, I think at that point, I would think maybe this little pullback is done, and we could see some further buying coming into the market. Keep that in mind. As I said, the 50-day moving average is 12,375. Also a perfect idea for a target on this head and shoulders that we just looked at on the Dow. Love that little looky look. 50-day moving averages all across the board are what I'm watching in a very close way. Don't want anything too deep, but the next stop could be the 20-day moving average. Keep that in mind as well. Anything down in here, I don't know. Maybe there's something a little bit more sinister going on. I don't like it to get back that far. NDX 60-minute also. A couple of strong days down, but keep in mind, not really breaking anything. Look at this little move here, getting back below some moving averages, but overall doing a very nice job of keeping itself up towards the top end of this thing after that 2-week run, which was hellacious and actually took us to new highs. We have not seen those highs out of the SPX and the Dow yet, but that doesn't mean we won't. Typically what I see is after the NASDAQ makes a high, the other markets do make new highs too. It just takes them a little while to get there. So I have to stick with that sentiment for the time being. Is it possible the NASDAQ will make a new high and the others won't? We'll get some non-confirmation. You bet, certainly an option. But right now, I just have to look at what it is. What it is just a pullback to me. Watching closely, of course, the 50-day moving average for a good, solid target on that pullback. Also matching well is the 50-week moving or 20-week moving average. That fits perfectly at the 2320 mark with what we're seeing right here with the 50-day moving average. Pretty nice. I think so too. Nice target here. Moving on to the SPX 60-minute, coming right back into support today where it stopped, it rested, and then sat. This was an update I sent out to my newsletter subscribers. They got this today about 1 o'clock Eastern Time, talking about this exact level and how we had stopped and kind of rested there. This is exactly where we stuck the rest of the day, not being able to move. Guess what? This also shows that little head and shoulders pattern that we saw on the Dow. However, guess what? Its target was about 1317. That's what we talked about, A, in the trading room today, B, to my subscribers. So if you guys could have made use of that, seeing as how we hit the 1317 mark, 1316 really. Perfect pullback, hitting the target for the head and shoulders. Is it done? I'm not convinced. I really like the next level of 1300 to 1305 next. We'll see if it does reach that, because unlike the other indices, the SPX is already back to its 50-day moving average where it rested very nicely. So the Head and Shoulders putting in a perfect target of the 50-day moving average, which would also coincide with what the Dow might do. However, the Dow hasn't gotten down there yet. It's still looking a little bit on the stronger side. Sitting right here, any pushback below the 50, not a bad short, but I'd watch very closely in the 1300 to 1305 mark, which would be the next lower, heavier level of support. VIX was way up today, trying to slice through these moving averages, and you can see closing in on that 19 area. You know what I think about the 19 area. Yes, I do. I like it from a bearish standpoint if we get up there and stay there for extended periods of time. So far, we have not. We've been able to get up there, touch it, and run back, but I love that the 50-week moving average is perfect at the 19 area. We'll watch that closely and see where that'll get as the week progresses. But the VIX confirming the move down that we saw in the markets today. FAS, not a whole lot to really talk about here. I like the FAZ a little bit better, but you can see this is called an island reversal up here. We did see it work out perfectly over the last couple days. If you have multiple candles, it's an island reversal. If you have one candle, as we see right here, it's an abandoned baby formation. We have a candle, we gap away. The baby's left on the other side of the river, and we gap away again. What a sad, sad thing. Abandoned baby. Could have found something a little bit nicer, don't you think? Like abandoned criminal formation. That would be nice. We dropped off a criminal on the other side of the river, and then we left him there, and nobody ever went back to get him. So that's a little better, right? Right? However, no. They went with abandoned baby. That just makes you sad. How about abandoned mother-in-law formation? Now, maybe a little bit better? Okay, you might like your mother-in-law. How about abandoned anything? Abandoned ex-spouse formation. There you go. Yeah, some of you might appreciate that. No, abandoned baby. That just makes me sad. We need to go back and get the baby. We need to close this area, get that baby back, right? Yes, I don't know if it'll happen. Point being, we're down below the 20-day moving average on FAS. I want to watch that very carefully because we closed down here as well. Here's something, though, I think that makes more sense to me, and that's the FAZ. A hard push back up into this overhead resistance area coincides beautifully with what I really saw that I liked was the FAZ daily. Look how we came back to retest this underside of this channel. We had to move down and through it. Now we've had to move back up into it. Well, this is where it's going to get interesting. A lot of times these do hold, and then they roll back over for another move down. I don't know. I don't know which way this is going to go, but if that happens, guess what? We're going to find more bullishness coming into the markets, most definitely. Is there something around the bend? Is there QE3? Is it the debt ceiling's going to be raised? I don't know what they'll find. Maybe they're all happy with the thing, whatever they work out with Greece and the rest of the world and the banks. I don't know. But something to definitely watch. I was very curious to see this come back and close right here at that blue line. My next entry, I have no entries really long or short, guys, on the FAS right now. They are not setting up nice. They're not setting up neatly. The only one I would have is maybe the FAZ back above the 48 as it gets back into this area and above these moving averages. But outside of that, I've got nothing for you. So no trading suggestions on these this time. Vernon, keep in touch. Make sure you send me something. Want to show you guys something too before we leave. Last week we put in our first full week of trading, and here are the trades on just the ES. This is just the ES from last week. All of the trades that we did at the end of the week. Here's one I'm actually still in. I went short the Dow at 12. Well, short the Dow at 12,690, and I added at 12,680, so I have a cost average of 12,685 in it. I'm not out of it yet, but I did get out of part of it here at 12,435 today. I still have half of this on, so I'm still 50% short with this particular trade. What I did, though, is instead of going, yeah, well, if you just played 100 contracts, you'd have made $1 billion, which I think is completely disingenuous, and I see a lot of other people do. I wanted to be more conservative and say, listen, if you just played one contract, I don't. I play more, but it doesn't matter. I don't care. You don't have to keep up with me. I'm just saying if you play one contract, this is what it would have turned out to be for you this last week. it was like $1,200. It was 24 points in the ES we were up last week, which is $1,200 on one contract and only one contract. And that didn't include this YM short. If you got out today with one contract on the YM short, with all those trades last week, it came up to over $2,000 we made last week alone in just playing one contract. And you need an account size of about, I don't know, 4, 5, 6,000, depending on which broker you're with, to actually play one contract on the futures. For today, we made over $600. Had a small loss this morning, and then was 5 for 5 the rest of the day, with a long in the NQ at the end of the day, which I rode into the close and after the close, and made a little money on that. So that was $660 or something like that. Anyways, over $600 today alone on the futures. If just playing one contract, now obviously a lot of people play more. They play 2, 3, 5 contracts and more. So they're doing whatever this times 2, 3, 5, however many contracts. So keep that in mind, depending on what you guys do with it. If you don't know how to trade the futures, I will teach you. If you sign up for the trading room, write me an email, say I'd like to learn how to trade the futures. I will do a one-on-one session with you and teach you how to trade the futures so that you can do it for yourself. It's not that much harder than trading stocks. It's not that much more scary than trading stocks. I'd even be willing to hold your hand through the first trade. We would do it after hours when there isn't a lot of movement to the market and there's little to very little to no risk of losing a bunch of money. You just won't in the after hours. You might get the futures to move 1 point, which is about $50 every 5-10 minutes, maybe, if you're lucky. It takes a long time, so we can get in and we can get out, and we won't lose much. It won't be a big risk. Anyway, wanted to bring that up to you. I will teach you how to do that at no charge if you sign up for the trading room. So free lessons on that. Give it a whirl. I really think if you tried the trading room, I really think you'd like it. We have a fantastic community. Nobody gets into a lot of talk about anything outside of trading, so we're not bickering about politics and all the other things I hate about other trading rooms. You can see everything I'm doing. You get to watch all of it as it takes place. I don't wait to tell you what I got into until after I got into it. I hate that. That's another thing somebody told me other trading rooms do. I don't do that. That doesn't. How are you supposed to play with me? How are you supposed to get in if I don't tell you ahead of time that, hey, I'm going to go long the ES here or short the ES there? If you don't know ahead of time, how are you supposed to play along? That isn't very fair. I'm just amazed at what I hear from people about what goes on in the market out there. I can't even believe people try to do that kind of stuff. Anyway, point being, I will teach you to trade the futures. If you're interested, there's good potential there. Even if you take half those trades, you're still making good money. I'm willing to help you with that. The other one was, here are all of the stock trades we took last week. All of these, let's see. Here, this is the break, of course. These are all the ones we did last week. And all I did was 100 shares. Some people trade 10. Some people trade 1,000. I don't know what you guys trade. I just went with 100 to give a overall idea of where we were. And I think I ended up plus $700 or something on that last week. Today, we got into a few trades. And you can see I'm still holding a couple of them overnight. Overall, though, up a little bit. I mean, nothing to really write home about, to be quite honest. But we'll be fine. We always do really well here and should be just fine. So after the first week and into the second, we're doing really well. Would invite you guys to sign up, give it a whirl, see what you think. If you want teaching or learn, if you want to learn how to trade the futures, let me know. I will certainly be happy to do that at no charge with your subscription to the trading room. And that is just to your right. Look to your right. There's an ad sitting right there by the video when you're done on any one of my pages. Little ad off to the right. You can just click that, sign up through PayPal. If you don't want to use PayPal, that's fine. Email me, let me know, and we can find out. We can do another arrangement. You can send me a check. We can do a credit card over the phone. There are other options. You don't have to have a PayPal account to do it. I don't force people to do that because I don't like PayPal sometimes myself. All right. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll be back with you again later on in the week. Bye.